Are you hosting an event?
Sit down at home, decided to watch some TV, listening to the news by Gordon Mosley. I listening to the things that he say he tracking tonight, paying close attention to make sure I hear it right. But when I hear the things that he mentioned on the news, I had to declare them kind of thing got me confused. I hear some things where the ERC noticing, and it convinced me black people ain't learning nothing. We hear so many times about them big name calling, and they say me ERC pretend that they didn't hear nothing. But once you're black and you just decide to say a word or two, bet your life on that they say me ERC coming for you. Listen to the things you just hear on social media. Only one set of people allowed to talk in one Guyana. I still say nothing, black people in learning. But this is my concern, I hope one day black people will learn. ERC that I would like to know if any of his members happens to be black people. And if that is the case, I want them to answer this call. Tell me how come none of them ain't got no voice at all. You're showing signs of weakness and you're afraid to be fair, and we see the same thing keep happening year after year. And the day will come when all this nonsense will stop. That will be the day when black people decide to wake up. Not so long ago, something terrible happened. This young Indian man want to kill out all black people by poison. But if his shoes was on the other foot, would have been a big threat. But up to this day, this ERC can't do nothing as yet. How come it's only black people committing cybercrime? When pretty on social media fussing people all the time, I still say black people in learning. But one day will come when the entire table will turn. Issues we see that fail to condemn, because these people think that the law is only for them. And anybody else who decide to file a complaint, they go call you a racist and don't want to hear nothing. Plenty complaint from time to time has been brought to their attention, but because of this one-sided cybercrime is why they don't show any concern. There's only one set of people that they really care about, and black people must take the abuse and shut them out. Kidaki Amsterdam went to court just recently for an issue that was highlighted by the same ERC. And with pretext the police decide to jump on his case. Without a search warrant they went and search up the man's place. Let us all agree that black people under attack. Different laws for you and me just because we black. I still sing black people in London. To all my black friends, we must put a stop to all this nonsense. Amending the cybercrime laws to keep people silent, just to make sure nobody criticizes this government. And while that is a very clear case of dictatorship, it is no surprise that the ERC ignoring it. Why only the chosen few is allowed to have things their way, when people like me and you mustn't have nothing to say? And when ministers in the government start to launch their attack, you never hear this ERC come out and talk about that. They send a policeman all the way to New York. This fella went up there to serve a court summon on Rick Forward. Under this this government decide to fabricate a case, but like they forget the warning they get from Latisha James. The vice president described that he use as a low life. Because of this kind of abuse, he don't have a wife. I still singing black people in London. Just the other day, I hope your man see help is on the way.
All right, so today we are here at Club Twilight up in Buxton, and we are here to talk about all that's going on up here. Trust me, if you are on the East Coast, you're in Buxton, you're in town, you're looking for a place to get away to, this is the place. The Cutters, mwah. Listen, I'll be having some just now again. We'll talk about that. And then, of course, the ambience is beautiful, fully air conditioned. The decor is on point. The music's on point. Everything's on point. It's just me. I need some work. But everything else that belongs to this club here is on point. So if you want to find a nice little place or you can just drive out of town and have some drinks, have some food, you can call, you can order your stuff and just take it. You don't have to stay. Or if you want to stay here, that's what's up. And of course, they have special events for Valentine's. You can rent a hall. You could rent a hall, honey. You could rent a hall for weddings, for birthday parties, to have a bash. I hope he edits that out. But you know, whatever it is, this is definitely the place to be. So it's on Sideline Dam. You definitely want to ensure that you check this place out. But it's on your to-do list. All right, on your to-do list. This is definitely the place to check out, you know, a really cool, chill spot here in Buxton. I like this. Buxton needed this. We needed this. I needed this. You definitely needed to. Thank you. All right, so you might be wondering where we are. Still in Buxton at Club Twilight. That's where we are. So Club Twilight also has like an Airbnb as well. So you could come, drink, drunk, and come in the back here and lie down. Look at that. Look at that. Perfection. And the people come in and come in the room and so on. The bed sheet matching the blind, matching the carpet, matching the this, matching the that. We know but we things in Buxton don't play with we. So definitely if you want to come and you may be having a wedding or whatever and you just want to overnight and just have a good time because you're going to be drunk. We got too much road accidents. So you definitely want to come drink, have a good time. They have several rooms that you can rent. You have your toilet, you have your bath, you have your sink, you have your dining area, you have the bed. This is nice. I like it. Anyways, to my friends and my family, if you're looking for me, I'll be overnighting. Also for those persons who are traveling in from overseas, you want a nice, cozy place out of town, then Club Twilight, call them up, look them up on social media. They have their own Facebook page, and ensure that you come up the side and have a good time. Have a good time. Have a good time. Sorry, I'm sorry. That's it.
Stop running around like headless chicken. Go to Ashton's Marketplace for whole and cut chicken, beef, pork, processed meats like bacon, beef franks, smoked ham, ground pork, calabresa, and lots more. Ashton's offers wholesale and retail. Check them out. Call 613-2332 or WhatsApp 434-327-3955. Ashton's Marketplace, at 72 Rob Street, Border. Don't be a victim. Beat the heat with EC Crystals. Party ice in large and small quantities. Call 682-7981 or visit us at Club Twilight, Sideline Dam, Buxton North. EC Crystals, pure party ice. Are you looking for tents to rent? Well, look no further. At EC Party Rentals, Sideline Dam, Buxton North, we have tents in all sizes and colors. All sizes of tents we have. Small tents, big tents, medium tents, extra large tents. Call us on 622-5933. We have what you need. EC Party Rentals. Big on tents. You can get meat anywhere, but for the best cuts of chicken, beef, pork, mutton, and lots more, check out T&W Harris Butcher Shop, located in the East Rheinveld Market Meat Section. Call us on 609-7168, 641-4494. Ask for Rastaman. T&W Harris Butcher Shop, for the best in fresh cut meats and lots more. Are you hosting an event? Do you need ice, party ice in large or small quantities? Then call us at 622-5933 for the best party ice available. $1,000 per bag. We do delivery. EC Crystals, Sideline Dam, Buxton North. Call to have your orders filled today. Planning a party? Worry no more. We have all the supplies you need. At EC Party Rentals, we have folding chairs, folding tables, square tables, round tables, long tables, short tables, big tables. We have chairs, red chairs, gold chairs, white chairs, crystal chairs, chairs of all type, throne chairs. What you want, we have. Food warmers, coolers, ice, beverages. At EC Party Rentals, we have what you need to have a good time. You plan the party, we do the work. Call us 622-5933. EC Party Rentals. Let's keep your party going. Are you hosting an event? Do you need ice, party ice in large or small quantities? Then call us at 622-5933 for the best party ice available. $1,000 per bag. We do delivery. EC Crystals, Sideline Dam, Buxton North. Call to have your orders filled today.
None of you can see me right now, right? But that's understandable. Don't worry yourself. In time to come, you're going to get to hear and see me. Sometimes. Somebody is saying let them come over to TikTok. Sometimes it's good not to show your face, you know. What do you say about that? Right? Sometimes, just sometimes. I don't know. Sometimes I am too much in my comfort zone. Right? Exactly. Robin says, you guys know what I look like, and that's a fact. You know what I look like, and so you don't have to wonder who's talking to you. It's not a ghost. It's not AI. It's the one and only Buxtonian, the Buxtonian. Good, the Buxtonian talking to you. But I saw, boy, I gotta go right back from top perhaps, because only the people who TikTok heard what I was saying. I said this morning we're talking about the developments in the society basically, and we have seen recently the publications that say that 4 Guyanese have been sanctioned by the US as being drug traffickers. And among those 4 is a senior policeman in Himnot, some superintendent or something. Whatever is wrong, but he's a senior policeman in the hierarchy of the police. He too was sanctioned. And it is alleged that he has been providing safe passage and protection for the drug dealers who are using Region 1 as a transshipment point. And if you remember, he was the officer in charge of that division when 4.1 tons, I think, of cocaine was found in underground bunkers alongside an illegal airstrip. Of course, he didn't lose seniority as a result of that discovery. He didn't. He was simply transferred out of the region and put in a comfy position at headquarters, I think. And then some people protested, and he was actually removed from that comfy position. But he was there. He never really suffered any consequence, real consequence, right? He never really suffered any real consequence for, I would say, his failings as the officer in charge of that region, the commander of that region, right? But here it is, several months after, the US has sanctioned him as a drug dealer or as a policeman, a senior policeman who is involved in drug smuggling in the form of providing protection for those smugglers who were operating in the region. And it's not the first time that this has happened. It has happened before. We've had situations where the Target Special Squad, or Black Clothes Police as we call them back then, were involved in providing protectionism for the U.S. consular officer, Thomas Carroll. Carroll was selling drugs and, well, I don't know about drugs, was selling visas and sex and so on and all kinds of things he was involved in Ghana. And the Target Special Squad, or the Black Clothes Police, used to provide protection for him. They were his enforcers. Right? And what those investigations revealed and suggest is that if you dare to cross the path of Carroll, if you mash his toe, or any of these illegal dealers, if you dare to cross them, offend them, then you could disappear under the guise of regular police work. The police could turn up at your house because they've been sent by this commander to arrest you, and then you disappear. You die in the lockups. As a matter of fact, under this, no, that was under the one at Doubleday. A citizen died in the lockup, and up to now, the society doesn't even know what is the status of that situation. But yes, in the days of the Target Special Squad, you get arrested, and the next thing people are reading a report that you hung yourself in the lockup with a belt, you hung yourself in the lockup with a shoelace, you hung yourself in the lockup with a whole lot of things, right? Or some other prisoner attacked you and you died. And except save and except again, we don't do coroner's inquest in this society. You'll find that a lot of these things are orchestrated. And that is a frightening situation in any country, or that should be the frightening situation in any country where your law enforcement people are involved in criminal activities, right? Such as being enforcers to drug smugglers and drug dealers. But again, no big surprise there, because the fact is, while the PPP was in government previously, Professor Clive Thomas, co-leader, senior member of the Working People's Alliance at that time, and he is still a senior member of the Working People's Alliance and the executive of the Working People's Alliance, had cause to conclude and describe Guyana as a narco state. Now, a narco state is one where your government basically, and operatives of the government, are in bed with narco traffickers. They are in bed with narco traffickers. They facilitate narco trade. And so the narcotics become an integral part, a big part, a major part in the economy of the country. And so when we saw the lifestyles in Guyana starting to change, we also saw with that, as some people might say concomitantly, we saw with that expansion and thriving and dominance of the narco economy. Prices of property, real estate values, real estate prices went up, skyrocketing, as the narco trade was becoming embedded and perhaps accepted in the Guyanese society under the PPP government. Because there was a lot of money coming from the narco trade, and narco money usually has to be laundered. And so the drug pushers and the drug dealers and traffickers and so on was simply taking the largest coming from the illicit trade of drugs and investing in assets, tangible assets, land and buildings and so on. And they were willing to pay exorbitant sums to acquire people's property, especially if those properties were sitting on what you consider prime spots. And so over the years, the acquisition of property in this society became challenging for the ordinary working class people. Shalon is saying she's not hearing. Is anybody else having the same problem as Shalon on TikTok? Right? And so you see simple plots of land started selling for $100 million, $200 million. Some of the prices are indecent when you hear them, quite frankly. Some of the prices are indecent when you hear them. But the reality is, once drugs start to dominate the society and drug dealers start to dominate the society, no price was too high for them to pay for what they want, because they had to launder their money. And so you would hear stories of people building malls today and selling them next week. Right? People building malls today and selling them next week to legitimize their money. People buying things at what you might think are exorbitant prices, and then it is flipped at what you will consider a loss. And it is usually flipped among a certain circle. And so, in short, what was happening is a lot of money laundering was taking place. And as a result of that money laundering, Guyana eventually was blacklisted by AML-CFT, Anti-Money Laundering, Control and Financing of Terrorism Act, the organization, international organization, and so on. Guyana eventually found itself on a blacklist, and we were blacklisted. And as a result of that, correspondent banking was discontinued, and we started facing some serious challenges. Those things happened under the PPP. And now here again, we are seeing operatives of the PPP, policemen preferred by the PPP, their names are being called in the narco trafficking business again, and one might very well be safe in saying the possibility is that we're going to find ourselves blacklisted again if we allow this trend to continue. Right? Among the persons sanctioned is a guy who we have seen photographs of Charles Ramsden with. I know for a fact when Ramsden visited the boxing playfield at some point in time, the guy was with Ramsden, and rumor had it that Ramsden would have visited his place and so on, and they were tight buddies as a matter of fact. So there were lots of sightings of Ramsden and this particular individual. And that's one of the persons who's been sanctioned by the US. I think Starbuck News identifies him as a popular businessman named Cromwell, better known as Demon or Diamond. Starbuck News, the US publication on this individual describes him as a violent, drug trafficker. Not just a drug trafficker, but a violent drug trafficker. And if you're a minister of sports, youth, sports, and culture, is seen to be associated with a violent drug trafficker, then the question is, why is that minister still sitting in government? Why have I not heard any call, any demand for that particular minister to demit office? We are saying it's close to election and just now they're going to go anyhow. No. Society is supposed to function like any Guyanese society should function like any law-abiding democratic society. In any other country, maybe in Trinidad, maybe Suriname, any other country that has respect for its citizens, as long as a sitting minister of government name becomes entangled with a person identified by the US and sanctioned by the US as a violent drug trafficker, that minister ought to be made to demit office. Ought to be made to demit office. Because you can't tell me that as a minister, someone who has access to state resources, you are ignorant of the people that you associate with, the people you hang out with and stuff like that. And so this morning I'm saying, as Guyanese, we ought to be demanding that Ramsden demits the office. Ramsden demits the office. Just as how him not has been sent. And there again, this nonsense about administrative leave. Him not has been sent on administrative leave. Right? The evidence is before you. This man was the commander of the division when that drug was found. You're saying from then to now you've done no investigations? How the US has come to the conclusion so quickly that this man is a drug trafficker and has been providing safe passage for drug traffickers? Right? So him not has been sent on administrative leave. But what about this minister who has been seen in photographs with this other sanctioned person, Demon Diamond Cromwell, as identified by the US as a violent drug trafficker? Now, let me say this. Again, I'm talking about what's in the news. So I ain't got no fear of being sued and so on. They got to force sue people like Starbuck News because Starbuck News is reporting that this very man, described by the US as a violent drug trafficker, was recently arrested by the Guyana police force and locked up for shooting someone multiple times. Shooting someone in the Buxton friendship area multiple times. And so this guy was just in police custody for shooting someone multiple times. Right? And let me bring up the story because, Starbuck News is only allow you to read part. So I'm going to read the part that you could read because I'm paying for Starbuck News. You could tell them they could tie it to the bank. Mark Cromwell, who was on Thursday sanctioned by the US over drug trafficking, has been released on bail following a shooting on Wednesday that left a man injured, the police said yesterday. Police are currently investigating the shooting incident at the Friendship Railway embankment. The incident is reported to have involved the victim, 36-year-old Sean Edwards, 39-year-old Perez McPherson, and 43-year-old Cromwell, all of Friendship, East Coast, Demerara. You know something? I take pause there, but that's all Starbuck News allowed me to read, right? That is all Starbuck News. But what Starbuck News is saying there is that this man was being sanctioned by the US as a violent drug trafficker, was in police custody for a shooting just a day or two prior. But what I don't think is known to the public, but reported in other sections of the news, I think I saw a report on Gordon Mosley's news source page that says that this very guy is also wanted. The police issued a wanted bulletin for this very guy in relation to the abduction and disappearance of a former policeman. Again, the report suggests that the former policeman had come into Buxton and was abducted somewhere in the vicinity of the Milwaukee Road, I think Church of God Road, and they are alleging that Cromwell was part of the group of persons who abducted him. And so there's a wanted bulletin for Cromwell. Now let me ask this thing. Let's try to make sense out of this. Make it make sense. Here it is. A man is allegedly wanted for allegedly abducting another man. And this man is arrested by police for shooting another man and is later placed on bail. What is the status of the investigation into the abduction of the person and the wanted bulletin issued? The police needs to say to the society whether or not the guy is still wanted. Because I can't understand, I can't imagine, I can't fathom how it is you arrest a wanted man for a recent infraction and then you release him on bail when there's a wanted bulletin out for him. Is it that the police doesn't know that there's a wanted bulletin out for this man that they put on bail? Is it that the wanted bulletin is no longer valid? Is it that the abducted person has been found to be safe? Or is it investigations have indicated that this man who was previously identified as wanted by police in relation to this abduction is no longer wanted? The society needs to know that. If you can issue a wanted bulletin, then you can say to the society that we have investigated this matter and found that the issuance of this wanted bulletin is no longer justified. And so this man can get about his merry way. But when the society is of the opinion that there's a wanted bulletin out there for this individual, and then you hear that he was placed on bail in relation to the most recent incident, you're asking yourself, what's happening in Ghana in relation to policing? Is show business? Is comedy? What is it really? What is it really? Or is it protectionism at its best? Protectionism at its best. I don't know, man. Let these things ride out the time and eventually they're going to be quieted enough so you can just brush them under the carpet and people can continue living their merry life. Is that what we're saying? Or is it there is so much incompetence in our public service that the police can't seem to get it right when it comes to service and protection? I'm wondering. I'm wondering, right? Those are some of the things I want us to zero in on this morning. And then I want us to zero in on this comment by Jagyo. You have Vice President. Jagyo says, according to DPI, Fair Joseph is asking about what about the matter involving this individual where you're seen on tape assaulting a policeman in the vicinity of Movitong and then attempted to flee to Suriname and was arrested and so on and so forth. Yes, the article I'm referring to refer to all of those matters, right? Assaulting police, wanted bulletin, and stuff like that. The article refer to all of those matters. It is only police who can tell us again the state of those issues. Right? It is the police that has to tell us the state of those things. When the YAP is asking about the extent of the sanctions issued on the 4 Guyanese, well, again, the extent of the sanction issued on the 4 Guyanese is basically saying that anybody who does business with them will also be sanctioned. I think I read that. Anybody, yes, this is it. This is the thing. Anybody who engages in business or any transaction with any entity that these individuals have at least 50% ownership of, then they too will be affected by those sanctions. Right? And so, in short, if, for example, this man owns a sweetie stand, and you're doing business with that sweetie stand, then you too are at risk of being sanctioned. That is the explanation I think I saw in the articles in terms of the extent of the sanctions. So the sanctions are, I would say, far-reaching. So long as they have 50% or more in any business, it means that in actuality, they are the owners of those businesses by virtue of the share ownership. And so those businesses too are considered sanctions. Right, good. So I am telling you about Jack Dio and his pronouncement in relation to motor vehicle ownership in the country. And I understand GRA has gone now to another series, PAL. They have moved from PAK, and so they've gone to PAL in terms of registration numbers, license plates, and so on. And Jack Dio is patting himself or his government on the back and saying, hey, that's an indication of how well we are doing in this country. That's an indication of progress. People are buying more vehicles. And that is why we are investing in more roads. Right? That is why we're investing in more roads, and we'll continue to invest in more roads. Now, if there's anything such as an asinine statement, I think this one fits the bill. This one really fits the bill. People buying more vehicles is an indication of growth. What kind of growth? If people are earning $130,000 a month and to acquire a vehicle on terms, hire purchase, finance, you have to pay at least $70,000 monthly. If you are to finance a regular 50-year-old discarded vehicle that comes into this country as foreign use, reconditioned, whatever you call it, you're talking about $3 million or thereabout. And so you will be paying to your financer about $70,000, $80,000 a month. Now, if you were to look at $70,000, $80 a month to your salary, you're talking about 50-60% of what an ordinary public servant earns. An ordinary public servant earns about $130,000 a month. And if you are paying $60,000 out of that, you're paying approximately 50% of your income. Right? How is that indicative of growth? How is that indicative of growth? When 50% of your monthly income goes to pay your car note, what is paying your rent? What is paying your living expenses? What is taking care of your family's needs? Food, clothing, and shelter. And so if a clown like Jack Dio calls himself vice president and some kind of economist is going to sit there and tell Guyanese that that's an indication of growth and how well they PPP is managing this economy, then the people who are listening and the people who are buying that got to be dumb. Not even intellectually lazy, simply plain straight dumb. And that is why Jack Doe feels emboldened to tell people that, you know, they got some really stupid people in this country. Because anybody who buys that argument from Jack Doe have to be some really stupid people. I have some theories. And among the theories is that apart from the fact that vehicle has become a necessity in this society, vehicle is no longer luxury. Vehicle is convenience. Vehicle is a necessity. I dare argue that if there is the establishment of a structured public transportation system in this society, a lot of people will opt to sell their vehicles because they know they can move freely from point A to point B because there is scheduled transportation and organized transportation. But in the absence of that, then people struggle. People starve. People go through serious sacrifices to acquire these discarded old vehicles from overseas. And I'm serious when I say discarded old vehicles, because any vehicle that comes into this country, you cannot buy a new vehicle. Again, as a public servant, you cannot afford a new vehicle in this country unless you're getting duty-free concessions. Outside of that, you have to buy vehicles that are at least 8 years old, considered used vehicles. 8 years, 15 years. Those are the age of the vehicles that can come into this country, and they attract this $4,000, $800,000, $800,000 duty. This was 4,000 US. What can you folks who live overseas acquire for 800,000? That's 4,000 US. Right? You're paying 4,000 US dollars in duty on a piece of junk acquired overseas. $3 million in total approximately for one of the lowest end vehicles, lowest end used vehicles, lowest end junk from overseas. And Jaguar is telling us that that is an indication of progress. But here, from where I sit, I'm saying this. Guyanese deserve better. And if I were to be given the power, the authority, I will make the argument that the duties on vehicle importation in this country must be reduced. In a place like Suriname, the highest rate of duty you pay on any import is 50%. In Guyana, you pay as much as 300% on a vehicle import. The Surinamese don't care if the vehicle new. If it old, the older it be, the less you pay. Right? But you will not, on any instance, as far as I'm concerned, pass 50% in duty. Why in Guyana, an oil producing state that is so progressive according to Jaguar, people have to pay 300 and 400% in duties on their vehicles? Old vehicles in many instances. Y'all talk to me about that. So more people acquiring vehicles, a tremendous sacrifice. Is progress? Well, if that is progress, I hate to see what is stagnation. The lines are open. 6225923 is the number to call. You tune to the Guyanese Morning Time. Let's see how that can go. 6225923 is the number to call. You tune to the Guyanese Morning Time. Call it that sort of thing. Talkers, how y'all doing over there? I hope y'all tapping for me, you know. Y'all gotta give me some tops, man. Y'all so selfish. You see how hard I try to ensure that y'all get this get the view Guyanese morning time and so on. So when St. John is saying we conditioned on used vehicles starts from 5 years and older. Coalition government imposed an 8-year restriction on such vehicles, but this was removed in 2020 by this government. Call, I know we're doing it, but we're doing it. Call you on. Good morning.
Morning, Padaki. Oh, yeah.
Hi, good man.
Good. Let me talk about classness. If there's such a word, these people are classless. You have all this money, and this country is so nasty. How do you feel coming out from Prado and look at the condition of the Berry Ground 1 right there in Pleasant? So you got to pass every day. Go to Ramson, look at the condition of all the play fields. We all know at the stadium in Providence, zinc sheets of that stadium flying off. We talking about Demon, he should have been gone a long time. Look at the condition of play fields in this country. Look at the condition of play parks. It's just a set of crap. They build some things there. I don't know if they sink for people to drink water on the little avenue or walkways where they got. Who drinking water from them? Who drinking the water that's coming out of the pipes in this place? You know, this place is a mess. Look how they're widening roads and closing drains up, destroying a natural irrigation system. And they're closing the drains. I don't care how deep they go. Number two, the roads are so higher than people's lands. It's going to be prone to flooding. I don't care what they try. The place is just nasty and they are classless. This entire government is classless. They should be, they should have gone a long time. They're treating the place just like India. 90% of India is nasty. And they think that they're at home. You understand? So people, they all think these same folks fly to this country 1, 2, 3 and seeing other countries how they are clean, well kept and well organized. But they come back home and they just live in the filth. So please, people, make a wise move and get rid of these people. That's all I have to say.
Thank you for your call. And so when the scrum tells us that the more people acquire vehicles is the more progress in the society, one gotta really wonder, is which jackass brain, right? Because that got to be some serious jackassness. Let me tell you this again. Look around, and I'm going to take you back to a story 2-3 years ago, when a captain of the Guyanese Defense Force was carjacked and murdered in North Rhine Belt. I think that story happened. Y'all remember? A captain of the Guyanese Defense Force had to be moonlighting. To make ends meet. He had acquired a car, but he acquired a car to work taxi because the income that he was getting from his job was not adequate enough. He acquired a car to get to work taxi to supplement his income. Are we calling that progress? Will Jaguar call that progress? I'm just asking because I'm from Buxton background, so I mean smart bad. But I ain't stupid either. Call you on. Good morning. Flash Gordon, you're being heard. Proceed. Flash Gordon, you are being heard. Proceed.
Thank you very much. I want to give credit to belongs to because it is the future. So all Guyanese, especially black people and young people, a beautiful picture was built this weekend. Wonderful picture. With Christian young man in the middle, and two beautiful African young ladies side. One of them was Miss McDonald, it is the first time you ever pronounce our name so well, not good well. To tell Mr. Speaker, my grandma teach me. And the other sister who stood up and said, I want a PNC, I will die a PNC, and no matter whether the jungle coming and doing to me, I will not move. I will not sell any foundation of Bornam. You know what Bornam did for me? He took jobs and criminal activities at the time when I was growing up. And later on, he gave us free education. I will not sell that foundation. That picture, when I look at that picture, it represents the future after the next election of Guyanese and black people. Mr. Arinaki. Mr. Arinaki represents the word of God. When Jesus went, God said, everything you do acknowledging. When Jesus went to a wedding, and one of the servants said, Master, the wine is finished. He said, pull up your job and let me know. And the job finished up. He said, go and tell the king. And these were the way the king used. Wait a minute, when he finished drinking, wait a minute. I now know that when we go to the community, they always serve the best from the beginning. But you guys serving the best for the last is a message. I do not represent that the best for the last. And people should stop disrespect. I do not stop disrespect Bornam people and stop disrespect the MPs that get jobs to do. I do not think that we very 2023. When the people are not secret and tell, where's marriage? With very wrong. Marriage did not vote 2015 to change a black man. But today, a young black man said he will not have every black man there and make sure they broke a marriage. What a shame. I mean, that's the same thing to that same boy that come and talk nonsense in the family. Like me, and the family still in that tongue. Mr. Mr. Jordan, I don't Mr. Mr. Jordan, those two flags that I always call you the lead. But it belongs to you, my brother. You deserve someone to call you and how to do it. Mr. Mr. Jordan, you get on the $1,000 and tell you what to do and see them. Shame on the place.
The lines remain on 6225933 is the number to call. You tune to the Guyanese Morning Time. I am your host, Kiraki Amsterdam. Talkers, are we good? Yeah, we good over TikToking. Yeah, the lines remain on 6225933 is the number to call. You tune to the Guyanese Morning Time. I am your host, Kiraki Amsterdam. Call and we talk the thing. I think I see some voice notes. Let me see. All right, so at 25 minutes to the 9 o'clock hour, I will leave my TikTokers. Thank you, TikTokers, for joining me. And we will talk tomorrow again. Hopefully, I'm going to get this thing right, correct. Continue to share the live and continue to invite others to be part of the program. Call you on. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Kadaki. The listening viewers in Pioneer and around the world. First, to comment on that vehicle importation. The PPP administration doesn't care because most of the people then that doing the importation of this vehicle, they in bed with them. That, for instance, BM suit. And I can go way back when the coalition government scrapped the program whereby they're bringing in those tires that causing the mash up on the road. And soon as they get back into government, they bring back that foolish decision to bring back and second, with this area
young
in
the writing is on the wall. We all know that this government is a racist government that doesn't like black people, to be frank. And this guy, Freddie Kissoon, that Kwame had throw feces in his face, that he wasn't getting justice, and the Granger administration bring justice to the fore for him. And he's like those, what I must say, ungrateful dog that turn around and blaspheming the Granger administration and black people. He was the one that is in history say that Jack Dio was a racist. And I don't see how you so presumptuous that you got right back in bed with the PPP and Brad Freeman, the opposition. That show boldly that he's a sub drinker and an opportunist. And coming back to Adriana Young's story, if they could murder a baby from the cradle, I would say, that crung it all that this government is a racist government and doesn't like black people. Because you telling me that little child that you murder and no justice for that child that you protecting the people them a double D that murder this girl. Put it the other way, if that was an Indian child, the whole country would have break up and we people just sit down like mice behind boxes and not pushing for justice for Adriana. It's sad, real sad, I'm telling you, sad. And looking forward for the day that we get an investigation as some real, reliable outside force, international force, that could bring these murderers and drug dealers to the fore. Last but not least, now I understand that they're bringing in things already to build back that place. Come on, it's sad. Black people need to get up from the butt and push more for justice. That is my take for this morning. Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Amsterdam. Narco side of things, I agree with you 100%. Mr. Ramson should resign. But please explain to me, I can't remember, if you ever call a sitting minister under the APNU government, Mr. David Patterson, his brother was busted with 10 kilograms of cocaine in Antigua, and he was never locked up. I can't remember if you ever called for his resignation. And please explain. And he's running for office again, so I think you should call for him not to run for office too, in the same breath. And on the vehicle side of things, I think it's not 8 years old; it's 5 years old vehicle. Thank you, Mr. Amsterdam.
Right? Listen. Full responsibility for his actions. He didn't say duck it under the carpet. He didn't sweep it under the carpet. He didn't try to curry favor. He didn't try to call in favors and so on. He said, my brother is a mature adult and he must bear full responsibility for his choices. So I don't know what this jackass calling to say. That Patterson body didn't spend a day in jail. He was remanded from the 2nd of May to the 24th of May. There's about 22 days when he went to court. I was later fined $27,500. I can read out a whole long list of incidents where friends and family of this government, ministers of this government, have been arrested for incidents and have never spent a minute in a lockup, much less a day. Y'all forget the song and dance, all kinds of maneuverings that they were doing for the niece of Sonia Parag when she was found with cocaine, psychological evaluation and all manner of things. Y'all remember that? It's 9 minutes to the 9 o'clock hour. Let me see if there are other voice notes. All right, I don't see any other. Good. So y'all tell y'all vice presidents to me. When you talking about progress, acquisition of a motor vehicle is not progress. A lot of people try to acquire motor vehicle because it has become a necessity, because there's no structured public transportation in this society. That's number one. Number two, a lot of people make a sacrifice to acquire motor vehicles because they use it as a source of supplementing their starvation wages. And if you have to acquire a vehicle to supplement your income because it can't sustain you, I don't see how that is progressive. You might be progressive minded in that you want to make progress, I don't want the starvation wages that the government is paying you to keep you oppressed and oppressed and poverty stricken. That is progressive minded thinking. But that doesn't indicate that your government has a progressive program. And so I'll tell Jagyo the difference. Right? I'll tell Jagyo the difference. At 7 minutes to the 9 o'clock hour, I'm tempted to leave you now. I trust you had a good program. I can take another call or two. But if that doesn't come within the minute, I'll be taking my leave of you. It's Monday morning. It's a Monday after the holiday on Saturday. And so you can imagine. So I'll take my leave of you. Oh, there's a voice note here. I didn't see this one. This one was very early. Let's see what it has to say.
Good morning, Mr. Amsterdam. Good morning, viewers. Mr. Amsterdam, you did your part, Mr. Hines, everybody doing the part to warn Afro-Guyanese if they vote for Mohammed, what is going to happen. They have to make that decision. I'm listening to Mr. Hughes, I think it was Sunday, when he was on the Sunday show. To me is that Mr. Hughes, the AFC have no interest in being in a coalition because Mr. Hughes was able to pinpoint all the things that if he been elected, what his government will do. Mr. Norton, listen to Mr. Norton at this press conference. Mr. Norton is open for coalition. And the AFC really feel that they're going to pull more votes from the PNC. I don't think so. So Guyanese have to make up their mind. What I am seeing and might happen, my prediction, they might not have enough votes. They might be a minority government. That is what I am seeing. Nobody would be able to get enough votes to say, well, this person would govern the country. That is what I am seeing. Let's see nomination day, what is going to happen. But the AFC, to me, listening to Mr. Hughes, as I said, he have no interest in being in a coalition, and that is very, very sad. And I am really scared for what is going to happen to Afro-Guyanese if the PPP get back into office. They got to wake up. It is serious. Let them don't take this election and believe it's joke. This is very, very serious. That is my take for today.
Kadaki, good morning to you and our listeners. The contribution this morning. Kadaki, I heard the man who called himself the vice president saying that he's confident of the 25 election. Not this 25 election. Karaki, the evidence pointing to the PPP, that they fail the people, the system fail. It's a failed society. Mr. Norton, I know a lot of people doesn't like Mr. Norton, but Mr. Norton do have goodie. He have balls, and we need a man with balls. When the government change, if finally Barack Jagdeo and Namnal must spend the rest of their life in jail. We want a man who had the testicular fortitude to do that. And Mr. Norton look like he seems to be the man who will do such a thing. So Kadaki, this election Barack speaking about, he confident. Not this election. I believe maybe 25 years from now, but not this one. Kadaki, I'm out and listening.
And that's a wrap for me. I'll see you tomorrow when we'll have another program of Guyanese Morning Time. And we'll continue to talk the things. I'll have a good one.
Watch what eggs do to your brain. Take a look at these two brain scans. They both look young, strong, and healthy, but only one of them is
My Guyana, my Guyana, my Guyana, my Guyana, Eldorado, best of all the world away. In my heart, wherever I wander, memory enshrineth thee. All my hopes and aspirations, all my longings, only tie everlasting bonds around us as the fleeting years roll by. My Guyana, Eldorado, my Guyana, time's unfolding more and more my destiny. Your redeeming, lasting splendor over the years that lost to me, and the dawning of thy glory o'er the long, long night is past. Oh, arise, triumphant, glorious, from the ashes of the past. Oh, arise, triumphant, glorious, from the ashes of the past.
Arise, triumphant, glorious from the ashes of the past. Morning, are you morning? Welcome to another program of Guyanese Morning Time. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me over at Facebook and YouTube. And give me a thumbs up if you can hear me, or furthermore, give me a top if you can hear me over at TikTok. How y'all do? Morning, welcome to another program of Guyanese Morning Time. I am your host, Kidaki Amsam. It's Tuesday morning, and it's raining in Guyana. It's raining in Guyana. And you see, I'm rocking my new Working People's Alliance t-shirt this morning ahead. WPA, compliments of Silver Lightning t-shirt and other printing. Silver Lightning printers, right? Silver Lightning. If you want to hit up Silver Lightning and get some work done, if you want to sponsor a few t-shirts and so on, that's good too. Silver Lightning can get it done and then they will ship it to us. Silver Lighting is in the US. So those of you who are wondering where Silver Lighting is, inbox me so I can get you the information. As a matter of fact, I might have it on my computer. Good. It's Wednesday, that is. Yeah, I got something here for Silver Lighting on my computer. Let me open it up and share it with you. Silver Lightning apparel. Yes, Silver Lightning apparel. Right. So let me see. So they say hand wash and make hand come clean. And Silver Lighting has always been there answering the calls. If I call and I say, hey, give me 2 t-shirts, man, make 2 t-shirts for me. He's always quick. Right? He's always quick. And so this Working People's Alliance t-shirt I am wearing currently is available at a handsome price, affordable price, only $25. No, $25? No, $13. Right, $13. I got it all mixed up there. I was counting Guyana money. Yeah, only $13. And so who knows? Y'all could sponsor some, because yes, it is Tuesday. Did I say it is Wednesday? If I said it is Wednesday, my apologies, because it is indeed Tuesday. When it comes around to election and campaign season, every person who is supporting the movement, in this instance, the AP and the WPA, every time once they come around to a campaign event and so on, they expect to get tokens, whether it be t-shirts, whether it be bandanas, whether it be sweatbands, something. People look forward to something. And not because we are in the opposition and we don't have access to our resources, and a lot of the big-time political party financiers who are going to throw their weight behind the PPP will not necessarily throw their weight behind us in the opposition and so on. We must not have anything to give to our supporters. We must have something to give to them, right? The slightest token. And so if you can contribute to making that happen, then then by all means make it happen. Good. One of these t-shirts, $13. Silver Apparel will take care of the printing and so on, and we good to go. Good. If you can't make a t-shirt, maybe you can make a sweatband, or you can make a bandana. Just inquire what you can make, and let's get on with the business. Good. What are we talking about this morning? We're talking about lots of things, lots and lots of things to talk about. But let's do some housekeeping. Number one, I did invite some of you, all of you. I did say it would be nice and kind of you if you were to volunteer your services to come as scrutineers for the next elections. Right? The elections are on the 1st of September, a few mornings away, right? A few mornings away. And so I'm asking you guys, those of you who are willing to dedicate a day, 2 day, a week in Guyana perhaps, but definitely elections day, if you can dedicate that day to working with us here in Guyana to scrutinize the elections, we would welcome that. And so kindly send me your information via WhatsApp. If you choose to do it via Facebook, no problem. But it's usually difficult for me to see it via Facebook because I hardly ever read Facebook messages. WhatsApp is easy for me, 6225933, and it comes directly to my phone and I get to check it immediately and so on. Send me your information because I've already identified a trainer who will train you virtually how to scrutinize the elections, what are some of the things you're looking for, and so on and so forth. So please and thank you. There are people who made commitments to me, and I expect you to keep those commitments. Please and thank you. And I also expect you to encourage others to do just that. Get on board with us and scrutinize the elections. I will tell you this. By now you should know I'm a straight up person. I don't necessarily curry favor things when I have to talk about them, especially matters that involve all of us and concern all of us, right? The opposition is likely to be challenged in terms of getting adequate scrutineers to man each and every polling station because of the fact that our society, citizens are so poverty stricken, number one. Citizens are not so politically aware, I might argue, that they don't recognize the importance of scrutineering and watching with an eagle's eye what happens in the polling places. For many of those people who will present themselves in the polling places to scrutineer, it is all about the dollar. It is all about the dollar, how much they're being paid. And obviously, GCOM has money to pay them. The PPP has money to pay them. The opposition might be scraping, right? And so, obviously, who has the least money to pay scrutineers is likely to get the least scrutineers, and sometimes the least credible scrutineers too. Good. So let us pool our resources together. Let us adopt the wheelbarrow principle. Let us take on Ubuntu. Let us cooperate for Ghana. And so if you have the time, if you have the energy, if you have the know-how, if you're willing to learn, put your shoulders to the wheel. And so we can get adequate scrutineers in the polling stations across this country. Because getting the vote is one thing, protecting the vote is the other. Unless we can protect our gains in the polling stations, we can very well find ourselves cheated out of another election. So let us ensure that we take the necessary steps to protect those votes. I'm encouraging you, whether local or overseas, right? You, whether local or overseas, to do just that. Dennis October suggests that we do a GoFundMe to pay them. Great idea. Good idea. I will share that idea with the quote-unquote leadership of the coalition. Y'all might not understand me. A lot of people don't understand me, perhaps when it comes to money and money dealings. I'd rather somebody else manage the public's money. right? I rather somebody else manage the public's money. And I said the thing easy for get bad name, right? And so yes, I would rather the leadership of the coalition deal with that GoFundMe business. I would rather they do that, and it's a great idea. It is a great idea, but for me, money can buy services, but I think the purest form of service is people donating their services. So yes, we can do a GoFundMe, we can pay scrutineers. As expected, we have to pay scrutineers. But I would be so much more comfortable if a whole lot of you volunteer to be scrutineers. Right? I'd be so happy if a whole lot of you volunteer to be scrutineers. Whether you are here in Ghana, I know we have a solid viewership in Ghana. I know we have a solid viewership overseas. And for those of you who will say, yeah, I'm willing to contribute to the GoFundMe, is it possible you can identify a relative of yours and fund them to be a scrutineer for the coalition, for the opposition? Is it possible? Because you will know your relatives better than I would. And you will know how credible they are and how trustworthy they are. And I will take a recommendation from you anytime. That listen, this is flesh of my flesh, blood of my blood. And I will put my head on a block that this person has credibility and they will make a good scrutineer because they are for the cause. Right? Flash Gordon is asking why Black people should look for money for something that will secure their future and their children's future. Because that is how the system has been set up all the years. Our communities and villages are no longer as cooperative as they used to be before. I tell people every day, since I was a youth man, I've been involved in the emancipation celebrations in Buxton. And I came from that period when it hits July month, when people used to turn up at the lessons place and find out what are the plans to emancipation and what the organizers need help with. So by the time it came into middle July, you knew who were the people that were going to provide food on the day of August first to feed the elders. You know, what are the things to expect from where? Towards the village feast. You knew who are going to fetch the wood to set up the bonfire for the night of July 31st. You knew who was going to bring the banana planting leaves so they can't keep. Who was going to bring dried coconuts. You knew all of that. And in many instances, those things didn't cost you a cent. People volunteered their services and they volunteered resources. But in this year, 2025, and as long back as perhaps 2020, perhaps even longer than that, in the 2002, the now generation, they don't turn up to ask you where you need help. They don't see it as a community thing. The only time they see it as a community thing is when they're ready to eat. Or on the night of the celebrations, the night of the cultural event on the Buxton line top there. They will come out in their numbers, they will have fun. They will come and they will demand kanki, they will demand mabi, they will demand cook up we are got there. And then on the first, they're going to come and do the same thing. And this is not me cussing them out. This is not me insulting anybody. This is me analyzing what is happening in our communities now. What used to be a community effort is now left on a small group of people. But everybody turns up. A whole host of people turn up to enjoy the benefits. Good. And so when you reach the things like elections, it's no surprise that people are asking you for the money because they hear, for example, the PPP paying, who knows, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 to a scrutineer on that day. They, for example, GCOM paying $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 to a scrutineer on that day. If I could work for the PPP and get $60,000, $70,000, and I could work for GCOM and get $60,000, $70,000, why I must do it for free for the opposition? Or why must I do it for free for the opposition for $30,000 or $20,000 or even $15,000? A conscious person, a community-minded person will recognize it is important that I do it for the opposition, even for free, because once the opposition can protect its votes, the possibility is I will help them to get into power, and I will therefore be contributing to this nation getting a government that is concerned about all of its citizens. But we don't think down the line, we think now for now. We think now for now. So yeah, I wanted $60,000 election day. And this $60,000 election day, we're going to eat it and we're going to shut it out by the end of the election week. But we will live for 5 years with a government that we allow to take the seat of power. And all of the disadvantages that come with that government, especially if it is the PPP. But we don't see that. We see $60,000 or $70,000 in election day. Why have we developed that mentality? Because we have been forced into a corner of being needsome and poverty-stricken. But we do not recognize that we can change our situation simply by embracing the democratic processes and defending and protecting it. Because like I said, you might say, I don't care who in power, I still got work. But we have to understand that yes, we have to work. But the value we get for the efforts that we put in will be different dependent on who controls the resources that we're working for. And that is why, Flash, that's why we got to pay them. Because if you choose not to pay them, then you ain't going to get them. Right? And the other thing with that is, despite, and this happened in the last election, despite you paying them, a lot of them will be double agents. They're going to accept your pay to work for the day, and you would expect them to work conscientiously and really defend your votes. But under the table, they're going to take the PPP money to turn a blind eye to all the wrongdoing in the very polling places. Many of them turn out to be licky. Nyami. They're going to go to the polling places and the PPP going to turn up with fancy breakfast and fancy lunch and fancy dinner. And given the fact that they got government resources and so on, they could move in a timely manner. They got more vehicles to reach out to all the polling places. So dinner might come early, lunch might come early, breakfast might come early. And so the PPP representatives are there and they're going to get a thing early. And they're going to look over the coalition supporters and say, oh, yeah, breakfast ain't come yet. Look, we got some extra. Y'all can have this. Y'all can have this. I mean, we on different sides, but we are guys. You know, we got to cooperate. Y'all can have this. By simply accepting that breakfast, lunch, or dinner, your scrutiny is compromised. I say that. mankind has a certain sense of gratitude. And so Sunita gave me the fancy breakfast this morning before the coalition bring the pepper pot and bread. And now Sunita doing the wrong thing in terms of allowing a man without ID and who doesn't fit this description and the profile and so on to vote. But I'm attention on because I eat your food this morning. These are reality. This is realistic. And so you're making the sacrifices to pay them to perform these duties, to look out for your interests. They're taking your money. But because they're lying and they don't understand the importance of what they're doing for the freedom of the Guyanese people, especially the oppressed, they're still looking over the neighbor plate. And the neighbor know how they stay. Look, we bring some extra, I'll take this. Did you stop to ask if that extra was specially prepared for you? To ensure you sleep through the process? Did you stop to ask yourself that? Did you stop to ask yourself if that special was, if that extra was specially prepared to you to ensure that you get belly walk so you can't stay at your station at all times? Above all things or beyond all things, the heart of man is desperately wicked. You want to catch a thief, think like a thief. And so I'm going to continue to emphasize, I would be so happy if the people who come to scrutiny are people who, from the bottom of their heart, recognize the importance of doing this and are prepared to give of their time for that one day. Because they're doing it from a place of recognizing the importance of doing it and recognizing the importance of doing it well. They're not doing it from a place of recognizing that it's a payday for them. If you give me a choice over paying people to scrutineer and accepting volunteers to scrutineer, I would take volunteers over those who want to be paid. Right? I would do that. But one thing they said, don't look at gift horses in the mouth. I'm going to be looking at gift horses in the mouth because I don't want scrutineer with scrutineers. I would want to scrutineer my volunteers. Because I know that the people would implant people in this process that I'm talking about. Accepting volunteers online and training them online and then having them come to scrutineer. I know the PPP is going to try to implant people. And we have to be that vigilant too. So don't think it's a wild hombre walking here. Thought has gone into this. I'm waiting for you to submit your names and say, well, Mr. Amsterdam, I can do it. Or Mr. Amsterdam, I got a nephew that I could trust and he is going to do it on my behalf. Or I got a niece and she's going to do it on my behalf. Mr. Amsterdam, I got 2 children in Guyana there. I mean, I just mind them anyhow, so they're going to listen to me and they're going to do what is right. I'm sending them to you. They're going to train. Y'all start talking to me. Robin says she's looking forward to be a scrutiny. Robin, hit me up in WhatsApp. Send me your information. I need your information, your contact information, because I'll have to send you the link for training and so on via WhatsApp. We're going to do it via Zoom. Right? So let's get this show on the road. Let's not just depend on Aubrey Norton and David Hines. let us play our part, because this calls a team. Together each achieves more. This calls a team. Again, Jillian, the length of the training is dependent, of course, on the quality of the trainees. We can do 2 sessions, we can do 3 sessions, we can do a number of sessions on virtually. I don't intend that we're going to take up an entire day for training at any point in time. If we can do it in a few hours, you know, we identify specific dates and we do it a few hours, then a few hours, then a few hours, then until we get to that place, right? So you don't have to give up an entire day to train. You'll have to give up an entire day to scrutineer. You might have to give up an entire day to travel in and stuff like that, right? So we'll do it in a few hours time, you know, a couple hours now, a couple hours then, and eventually we will be able to cover the module. So let's get it show on the road. Please and thank you. TikTokers, you're welcome too, you know. You just gotta send me information at 6225933, right? That's the number to send your information to if you want, if you're going to volunteer to be a scrutineer for the opposition. I don't come like Trojans, you know, because we're gonna flush out. And if you get flushed out, you're gonna find yourself in serious trouble. Right? Good. So that that is one of the things I wanted us to talk about. Another Black youth has been murdered. Dennis McKenzie, thank you for your interest. Please send me your information on WhatsApp. Right? Another Black youth has been murdered in the Enmore area. The police are attempting another cover-up. What the police is saying is contradictory to what residents are saying. I'm assuming you know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah. I could check Travis Chase. He did the interview with the family. Young man chased through the streets of Enmore like a dog and shot. Police are claiming they didn't chase him, they didn't shoot him. A security officer shot him. The owner of the premises that the security officer was securing is saying his security officer did not shoot the guy. All he did was fire 2 warning shots in the air. The WhatsApp number is 6225933. Those of you overseas, I think you usually do a +1 592. It's on the screen actually, you know. That's a WhatsApp number there. I just put it on the chat. Right? Yes. So the owner of the premises is saying, listen, my security did not shoot that guy. He fired 2 warning shots in the air. The guy was shot in his abdomen, in his belly. Now, I'm trying to make sense out of the information that is presented, because I want to see it makes sense. False contradiction. The police is saying that they got a 911 call of this incident, and they were in the area, and so they turned up on the scene. Video footage shows that the police were chasing the young man. The police were chasing the young man. There's video evidence out there showing the police chasing the young man. So immediately, if you're going to tell me you weren't on the scene when this thing happened, you had nothing to do with it, and then video evidence shows differently, I can't trust anything you say. You don't have any credibility. You do not have any credibility. And all through the family's inquiry as to what happened, they were getting no information from the police until they decided that they're going to stage a protest in front of the police station. Huh? Is that service and protection? Is that the kind of police force that we want in this society? And this is an electoral matter in case you don't recognize. The quality of service that you get from your police, as it would appear in this country, is dependent on the quality of government you get. It is dependent on the quality of government you get. And so here is one more reason why you have to fire the PPP. Because the quality of policing leaves a lot to be desired. How is it we can live as citizens and feel safe in our environment, feel safe in our community, when every 2 mornings there is a police cover-up? It happened in Linden. Up until now, we don't know what's the situation with Fortuny. Who killed Fortuny? Up until now, the police has not said anything to the public about the murder of Fortuny. So yes, video evidence contradicts the police claim that they were not in the area. They got this report. And so far, I'm saying so far because this is from the hospital, I understand. He was shot in his abdomen, subsequently died. I say so far because I would want to see what the post-mortem report says. Because let me do a little analysis now. Let me make it make sense. If the police is chasing you, it means you are in front of the police is at the back of you. And they're chasing you and they're firing shots at you. It means that they're firing at you from your back. And if you're shot, therefore, your entry wound is supposed to be the back, unless you're turned around to face the police. Unless you're turned around to face the police, your entry wound should be from the back. But if you're being chased and you're running towards a security officer, and he decides to lick 2 shots, the possibility is you definitely gonna get shot in the abdomen. You'll get your entry wound gonna be from in front. Your entry wound would be from the front if you're running towards a security officer who decided to lick 2 shots at you. And so this is the first thing I want to know. Where's the entry wound? They're saying they see this wound in the stomach, in the abdomen. But is that the entry or the exit wound? And according to ballistics people, I don't know. They got some police in this thingy. I know. Queenie, give me your wisdom. Is it true that the entry wound is usually the tiniest one? And so is it possible the entry wound was overlooked from behind? And you see the exit wound because it is a open sepulchre, or it's definitely large enough for you to see? But I am trying to make it make sense. Why would a security officer Harriet is telling me the abdomen is the exit. Well, Harriet must know. I don't know. Harriet knows, but that is what I'm surmising. That if he's being fired from the back, fired at from behind, then the possibility is that abdomen wound is an exit wound. And if it is an exit wound, then there's reason to believe that the police shot him. If the abdomen wound is an entry wound, then there's reason to believe the security shot him. But given the behavior of the police, I am tempted to believe the police shot him. Not because I don't like police, but because I like to look at the history, the behavioral patterns. And one of the things we are understanding is that one of the ranks that was chasing this young man previously had, I would call it, an altercation with him. During the protests for Adriana and so on, justice for Adriana, justice for Adriana, justice for Adriana. I understand the young man was proceeding on his merry way, and one of these very policemen accosted him and caused him to be charged for terrorism and promised him that he gonna fix him up. I gonna fix you. And so is it coincidental? Is it happenstance that he was one of the ranks that was involved in this incident when this young man was murdered? And until the family protested, there was hush, there was silence about this incident. I would want a wider investigation. And yes, ballistics should be able to tell us which gun shot him. But do you know police ranks always got a dirty gal? That is what they call it. You know, it's a dirty gal. A dirty gal is an unregistered weapon, usually not known, usually has no serial number, usually has no, well, in some instances it might have ballistics lodged with the police and so on. But a dirty gal basically is a firearm which is used to do nastiness. Can be traced, untraceable, let's call it that. And many of the police who patrol the streets in this city, in this country, in this town, are known for walking around with dirty gal. That is why they can always shoot an innocent citizen and say he had this or he had that. And in this instance and more, the good thing is they didn't find any weapon. They didn't declare that they found any weapon. But they're simply disowning the shooting and they're disowning the involvement in the matter. But the question I'm asking again, how many more of our young African Guyanese citizens in particular, and how many more of our young men in the society will be allowed to be murdered under these circumstances and not hold the police responsible and not hold the government accountable? How many more? Similarly, there was an incident in Agricola. Another young man lost his life. Call it black on black violence. Villager against villager. A young man lost his life. I understand he was gainfully employed. He was doing gutter work. His assailants turned up and shot him dead. You know what's sickening about that situation? There were several reports made to the police concerning the aggression of the assailant on this individual and on the individual's family. And the police failed to act. They failed to act. And so a young man has lost his life because, again, the police has failed to serve and protect. Is that the quality of policing we want? Is that the quality of the society in which we live we want? It didn't end there. The brother of the deceased turned up at the home of the assailant with an AR rifle. You know, they got AK, they got AR now. AR is a more, I would say, modern version of AK, but the specialists could tell us about that. I don't know too much about it. But turned up at the home of the assailant, and as we like to say, shoot up the house with the AR. And when you don't shoot up the house with the AR, right? When you don't shoot up the house with the AR, I understand he ran back home and he sat there and he waited. Some things can be as comical as I make them. He waited for the police to come. So the police came and they found him there with the AR waiting for them. And he said to them, I want justice to me, brother. Y'all gotta arrest the man. I gonna be waiting in jail for you. Y'all could believe that? This is what my sources are telling me. Look at the video here. What I doing? If they say it's comic relief, I don't know what it is. I can't understand why I'm laughing. But I can tell y'all just now. TikTok, y'all can't see this video, no? I know y'all can't see this video. I wonder, y'all can't see this video. Some of you will just have to be on YouTube and Facebook and so on to see this video. But you'll understand just now why I am laughing the way I'm laughing. Right? Y'all gonna understand why I'm laughing. Bad boy wrap up his face partially. Bad boy ain't got on no shirt. Bad boy got on a short jeans, short pants. Right? Hold on. I wish y'all would see this video on TikTok, seriously. But here, let's talk about what I'm saying. Right? Now, here is a bad man. Right? I call him a bad man because bad man does behave like that. You running. You are running. Right? To commit a crime. Because that's what it is. You're committing a crime with an AR. But you the trousers you got on is bigger than your waist. Number one. The trousers you got on bigger than your waist. You ain't got on no belt. So your clothes is not fitting you snugly. Right? Your clothes ain't fitting you snugly. You ever walk and your trousers dropping down and it a hamburger in your movement, your feet movement because it's dropping down and it get into your knee. You can't. This is what this bad boy got out there with an AR in his hand to revenge his brother or to commit a crime, to do whatever you want to do with his AR. But he has to use one hand to hold up, pull up, keep up his trousers. Y'all explain to me if this is sanity. Y'all tell me if this is sanity. Right? So, bad up with an AR. AR is a rifle, you got to use both hands. But one of your hand has to be occupied, keeping your trousers and your backside. You're no bad man, you're a baby bad man. And you turn up in front of the house and you lick a couple shots, bang, 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 bang. And then you hold up your pants and you run back home and you sit and wait for the police. Yeah, slack buck the bad boy. You know, y'all tell me, y'all make it make sense. Y'all make it make sense. You mean to tell me, even in the commission of a crime, whether they call it a crime of passion, what you want to call it, our young people can't think? You mean it's so bad? Huh? It can't be so bad, man. Something is wrong. The bad boy running down the street pulling up his pants with an AR in here. Right? This is comical. Yes, Joy, it might very well be a state of madness. Right? We don't pay attention to the psyche of our citizens. And so the murder of his brother must definitely have a psychological effect on him. He is one of the persons they should send for psychological evaluation. Because what would make a young man pick up an AR in broad daylight, run down the road holding up his pants, lick 2 shots and go sit back in his home and wait for the police? Huh? I'll explain that. Make it make sense. What most important for me is, how does an ordinary citizen like this one get access to an AR rifle? How does an ordinary youth, I think he more than 20, 21, 22, or whatever his age, get access to a high power rifle like that? Where did he get it from? Who is his supplier? If we assume we bought it, where did he get the money from to buy it? At what price? What's the market price of an AR? On the black market especially. These are things we have to ask. And do you know these are some of the weapons that we have on our streets? Or young people are sitting there guarding supermarkets with them? Chinese supermarkets? Or young people are there escorting businessmen with them? Yes. And so it might be easily accessible. Maybe it's a banner work tool. But when I look at this, I say a lot of things are wrong in this society. First and foremost, if the police are taking action on the several reports that were made against the assailant, this situation might have been avoided. We got a goat named Christine come and say he get it from Congress Place. A goat. Meh. Right? If the police are taking actions on the complaints, that situation could have been avoided. This could have been worse. It could have been a massacre in Agricola. It could have been a massacre. It could have been a national tragedy. As comical as it is, that I laugh in bad by running down, holding up people and so on, there are serious implications. And again, right up to the fore is this the society we want to live in as citizens? Is this what we want our government to permit? Citizens can change it. Citizens can change it. Citizens have a responsibility to change it. How do you do that? You go to the polls and you vote against the government that permits it. And you ensure that you have enough people there to protect your votes. Christine the goat is telling me to listen to my idiotic self. Is it more idiotic if you're there listening to this idiot? Huh? Y'all talk to me. Who more idiotic if you are here sitting there listening to this idiot? Christine the goat. Citizens have to take a stand for better Guyana. These little things matter. It's not always about what some people might call it big ticket issues. How much money we get and how big is the budget. Safety and security is a serious issue in every society. If you can't feel safe and you can't feel secure in your society, then that is going to have a negative impact on your quality of life. The lines are open. Is 8:15. A man like me, I got a kind of tool, and people interfere with my family. Me running and shoot up nose by daylight. I sleeping on the step with it. I lay waiting you and ensure that once I check out the tool, it's gonna be used and used effectively. No, it's a waste. It's a waste of personnel and it's a waste of assets. Because all two of them gone down. Slack buck the bad by gone down and gone down with the tool. You know what I mean? Kakumo Ogun said things could be fixed in this country if those in the military only know in which direction to turn the guns. All them citizens out there with kind of assets like this, if they only use it the right way, things could be fixed in this country. Yeah? The lines remain open. Well, you know, Robin Robbins, I'm the kind of guy that I always wear a belt, you know. I believe in a belt. I come up from a time when you have to get a belt. Or when you should wear a belt. I don't like me crack showing. I don't dep under. I must know if I got bend down and pick up something, I got confidence that, you know, I am well protected and my clothing is, you know. The lines are open, folks. Let's see if I could find a Byron Lee. Byron Lee said, when the men kill the men, all that remain is women. Is then I gonna have me fun? Byron Lee said, oh. Byron Lee and the Dragonaires. Y'all listen to this one while I wait for your calls.
Oh my goodness! Is everybody feeling alright? I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Is everybody feeling alright? Say yeah! Say yeah! Say yeah! Yeah, what we going to do? We're going to do something a little different. I realize nearly everybody can have a whistle. Yeah, what I wanted to do? Just blow your whistle. Blow your whistle. Blow your whistle. Blow your whistle. Oh, there's something good. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. All that you made this woman.
Caller, you're on. Can you hear me?
Good morning.
Good morning, caller. You're live.
Tell me. Okay, yes, I could hear you. Yeah, morning to all the listeners and so on. I just want to say one thing. That young guy there with that AR-15 weapon running down the street. Could you imagine a AR-15 weapon in a community like that? I want to ask a question. Is that weapon for protecting the family, or is that weapon there for something else? Because that's showing like that's a big surprise to me, so to speak. Is that weapon really there for doing what a guy running out there to do, or is that weapon in the community for something else? That's all I want to say. Ask. Thank you. Bye.
Good. And that's a fair question. Was it intended for that weapon to be exposed the way it has been exposed? Call you on. Good morning.
Yes, good morning to you and all my black brothers and sisters in Guyana. You could hear me clearly this morning?
Caller, when I can't hear you, I will tell you. Stop asking me that question. You're on.
Yes, because no disrespect, but when I read back the comments, they said people said they're not even flash. Anyway, let me move on. Good morning to you and all my black brothers and sisters in Guyana. First, let me say this. Goodos. Let me say thank you, my sister Robin, for mentioning these words one morning on the behalf of Flash Garden. You said, leave Flash Garden alone. I want to hear his voice. I want to hear his opinion. Why? Because we all are one family. Is God put those words into your mouth? Because last night, when I listened to Mr. David Hines' message, he using the same word to us, my sister. We all are one family. You see, Flash Garden? You don't want to pay Flash Garden no man because we get first grade education. But that's okay. But don't forget, God bless all of you guys with 5 senses, and he blessed Flash Garden with 5 senses too. And me bless myself with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Beautiful. To you, Mr. David, my big brother, I am glad you come to your sense. Let me talk Guyanese talk. I'm glad you come to your sense. I am so glad you acknowledge that Nigel used your good brother, loving brother, and AFC throw you under the bus. Because now you could talk and said that they never call you. They never sit down with you, invite you, nothing. You was told that long before from Flash Garden, but you did not listen to me. When Nigel Youth throw you under the bus and AFC, is when Nigel Youth come out and said, my party give me permission to go and talk to other, I can't spell the word because I'm going to spell the word for you this morning. I can't. To other parties, to me understanding, first grade education, not to talk with Arby Norton and PNC, not to talk to David Hines and PNC. Me tell you, to the double pay, me say along, why there's no coalition? Because Niger uses outside there, building his own coalition. So he would challenge Arby Norton, said, hey, bye, before me join with you, I want this seat from A to Z seat. And exactly, the word come to pass. When you come and tell Arby Norton, you want 50 slices of bread and 50 pieces of fish. That make me always said, I do hope Mr. Amsterdam played a song one morning for Flash Garden. Man to man is so unjust. Then Rick Fordberg, the tight clothes guy, come out and said, black people in Guyana, you guys must vote for Nigel Hughes and AFC because they have vision for black people in Guyana. He never mentioned WPA or PNC. And Nigel Hughes never come out and we broke that. No. Every party have vision for them people, for the country. I am not going to allow that to happen. Nigel Hughes disrespect you, my brother David Hines. And they will always talk about it until election done. And what he did to you, because you the one come out and represent him and said, Chairman Duncan, step down. Let Nigel Hughes be leader. And me glad you overcome. And me do hope you will not mention again that you waited upon Nigel Hughes. Nigel Hughes did not return to AFC to be prime minister. He returned to be president, and we have to get it in our skull and remember this and move on. Build on what you have, Mr. David. You have a lot of supporters. Well, you don't know what Flat Garden know. Build on that. Rally on that. Thank you very much for you guys' time.
Thank you for that call. Sometimes I wonder when we're going to move on. Listen, I think in these last few days, leading up to elections, what we want to do is rally our people to unite. And stop nitpicking. I ain't never really nitpicking, quite frankly. Nigel did what Nigel did. AFC did what AFC did. I'm not going to use my energy to discuss that. I'm going to use my energy to encourage people to take all necessary steps to vote the PPP out of office. Can we do that? Is it possible for us to do that? The more I discuss AFC, the more relevance I'm giving to them. And I intend giving them relevance. Let us focus on the task ahead. Forget who doesn't have our interests at heart. Forget who doesn't have the country's interests at heart. Let us who know that we have our interests at heart and the country's interests at heart focus on the job. Ahead of you. And the job ahead of us is to rally our people to go out there and vote like a boss against the PPP. KZ Auckland, if you can join my podcast, whether you're gay or not, it doesn't matter to me. You're a human being. As long as you're a human being and you have a sense of reasoning and so on, join the podcast by all means. Right? Doesn't matter for me. That's what we have to do. Now stop giving relevance if you believe relevance is not there. The lines remain open. 6225933 is the number to call. You're tuned to the Guyanese Morning Time. I am your host, Kidaki Amsterdam. We have a voice note. Permit me to play it.
Mr. Amsterdam, good morning. I haven't left a voice note in a while. No, this incident is, so I don't know what's really going on inside of this place. It's like if it's not a dull moment in Guyana. First, we got the shooting of this young man on the East Coast. Really, police again trying to cover up the matter, or allegedly trying to cover up the matter, if you want to put it like that. And then we get this young man. You see what you put up on your screen there, running through Alvin on the East Bank there with a gun in the hand. I don't know what's really going on inside of this country. This place is getting sick by the day, and it's beginning to work because The police is not doing what they're supposed to be doing, because if you listen to the interview yesterday with news source and other persons who went there, the police, they're not arresting these people. Now, how can somebody has a gun like that and run around in a village doing what they feel like doing, and the police, they're not doing anything? It clearly shows that the police has to be associated with these individuals, or know about these individuals, or know what they're doing or what they're about. Because I can't understand how it is that you got people with these every rifle. Look at the rifle that he has in his hand, right? How a young man like him get a rifle like that? Where did he get it from? Where did he work to purchase a rifle like that? Who's the person who supply a rifle like that? All these different things you gotta find out. And apparently, like the police, like the Guyana police force and the police, they're not. I don't know if they're not trained, or if they don't care, or whatever it is. I don't know. But they need to start looking for these people. This whole place is just upturned. I don't know what's going on inside of this place no more. Anyway, you have a blessed morning.
Sorry, yes, I did mute myself. Yeah. The question is asked, where let's take this call. Leon, good morning.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Amsterdam. Good morning, everyone in the Guyanese diaspora. Good morning to our Guyanese. An AR-15 is a assault rifle. Like the caller just said, the price for that rifle just doesn't match up the type of yard I saw him run into. You know, if people because the house they live in really don't look like they got money to waste, right? And so in Agricola, we know Agricola has been a hotbed of sorts, right? For one reason or the other. And so we can't put it aside. I saw the father. He chose to come out with a red shirt on credible sources. Now, signs and symbols are for the conscious mind. People nowadays wear red shirts and they wear green shirts. You know, normally, so when people choose to come outside with a red shirt nowadays, it's a conscious effort to do. You know, and for the most part. So the father says that, you know, they got problems in the area, but I tend to wonder behind the scenes. People doing certain jobs have that kind of money, or were they given that weapon to maybe do what? So are they PPP family? And these are things you got to look at. So the caller was right to raise that issue. So this might not just be a shooting, you know, this might just be something else happening behind the scenes that we're not aware of, considering the nature of the gun. So there's something to look into over and above. And it says, if that is the case, because that has normally been the case in other places, right? So secondly, you know, you were right to bring up the thing about we need to focus on unifying forces. And sometimes we need to crack the whip on those who are running around and causing mischief. So from time to time, people will call in and crack the whip on loose ends. But by and large, we've got to focus on how do we gather our momentum and leverage it in a way that can interest the people. We noticed how people came out for the $100,000 cash grant. It didn't matter what party you were voting for or what side of the aisle you're on. The common interest there was money. People needed money. And I'm always saying, if we've got 3 months to rally our forces, it'll be in our best interest to rally our forces around, the things that attract human nature. The PNC and the WPA have good programs that we need to accentuate. Look, let me ask this question and hope, and maybe the PPP will try to steal it. But I'm going to put this out there because I'm not quite sure that Leader Norton is hearing me clearly. Leader Norton, between now and 2030, there are children who are going to be 15 years old, 16, 17, and 18. So we need to bring them online for house lots. So the PNC, and I may suggest the WPA or the APNU, may consider to bring online these youths because they are our concerns and they need house lots. They need cash grants. They need cash transfers. They need livable wages. So if you are 15, this is a PNC WPA idea I may recommend. If you're 15, when we come in the yard and talk to your mother and your father about voting, we want to talk to you. Because by the time you reach 18, in a few years, you're going to be eligible to vote. You're going to be eligible for cash transfer and cash grants. So when we come around to talk to your family about voting on September the 1st, we want to talk to you too. We want to talk to you. Pass the message that Coffee says, that when the people come around to talk to your parents, they need to talk to you too, because you have a right to receive house lots or your name to be put on the list early. Isn't Suriname putting little babies on the list? Didn't you hear Donald Trump says, as they born, he's going to put them on the list for $1,000? So by the time they reach 18, they got about 50,000 or X amount of $1 million in the bank. But I said it before Donald Trump. Looked like they listened to our show and copying ideas. So we need to invest in our youth now. You think the youth in the yard don't want to hear that? So when you go into a yard, you leave no stones unturned. You don't come and talk about house lots. You come and talk about house lots for the mother, and you come and talk about house lots for these that are coming up. Why? Because now you got an entire yard talking your name. You got an entire yard interested about house lots that they're going to get when they reach 18. You have an added force of people you brought onto the campaign who have expectations and they're inspired by your sales pitch. And we're not lying to them. We intend to bring them on. And rather than bring them on late, we're going to bring them on early. So when you come in the long yard, and Guyana's full of long yards, when you come in, you've got children around there, 15 to 18, that we need to bring online in the campaign. Because they're going to inspire somebody in the yard to vote for our campaign, even though they themselves not voting. You see that? It's marketing. And it's talking about our wins. It's finding content to talk about that inspires as we move closer to the line. And we're talking about things that people need at the same time. And we use the same pitch for other areas: squatting, reparations, livable wages. Because when a little boy is 15 or a little girl is 15 or 16, they're getting pregnant early now. They're getting pregnant very early. They're going to need, because she's going to get a little boyfriend and she's going to get a baby, or he's going to get a little girlfriend and he's going to get a child coming, but they're 17, 18, 19. We need to be able to have a safety net within the livable wage, didn't know that this is the party that considers you even before you reach 18 and when you're 17, because you're falling through the safety net and the home, family welfare hasn't been taking care of you, but the PNCWPA has a program that will take care of you. Family oriented. Leader North has been talking about family oriented. So in the context of family oriented, let the youths know who will soon have family. They're factored into that. See, there are a multiplicity of things we can talk about that are inspirational, that are exciting, that are win-wins. And we haven't brought them online. So Coffee is suggesting them. That's my civic duty. That's my contribution to our people. And we could find times to focus our conversations there, I may suggest. I can't tell nobody what to do. Once again, Mr. Amsterdam, thank you for giving me the time to talk to our people.
Thank you for your call. 6225933 is the number to call. You're still tuned to the Guyanese voice, the Guyanese morning time. We have a voice note to play. Let's play it.
Good morning to Mr. Kadaki and everyone in the diaspora. A blessed good morning. To God be the glory. Mr. Kadaki, one of the things that I'm really concerned is about this businessman that has this big international hotel, where an 11-year-old child went missing in his establishment. And a few days back, I saw a video where he's saying, where can I go from here? That thing disturbed me. It disturbed me to the core, you know, that this man is his establishment, somebody being found dead and should have been locked up, and he's roaring and saying, where will I go from there? What a shame on Giadio, Ali, the Attorney General, and Mandela. Listen, God isn't sleeping. I pray to God in the name of Jesus. He would try to make that establishment back, but he wouldn't get no customers. You know, I'm really concerned about that. Yeah? The old world saw Curtis was the one who gave out. Oh, look here. You can see nobody is in here. As you can see. That was great evidence. And people need to come out and don't be afraid. You know, don't be afraid. Come out and speak out. Justice for Adriana, because she deserved it. But listen, the New York people not going to leave that like that. Never. You know, they're not going to leave it. I look at the cowboy country yesterday morning with that boy with that gun walking the street like, where are we going? Where are we going? Another thing what I have to say with people need to open their eyes and understand. Giving your vote to the whoever person you're giving is giving your life for the 5 or 4 years that they have to govern you. Think wise. Those black fools that go in and say, but they're giving endorsement to PPP are fools. It's just time with them. Because up in the quarantine, these people have bottom house meeting, and when they have this bottom house meeting, people talking, they're giving out money, and the money that they give to the black people, they're giving that to the coolie people. The coolie people, Mr. Kadaki, and everyone in the diaspora, a blessed good morning. To God be the glory. Mr. Kadaki, one of the things that I'm really concerned is about this businessman that has this big international. So PPP are fools. It's just time with them. Because up in the quarantine, these people have bottom house meeting, and when they have this bottom house meeting, people talking, they're giving out money, and the money that they give to the black people, they're not giving that to the coolie people. The coolie people getting all the big money. bottomhouse meeting because somebody was telling me, they said, Auntie, I don't even know. By the time you hear, the people don't share out the money, food stuff and all the like. And then Ali saying one Guyana, wake up Guyana, wake up Black Guyanese, wake up. Get under your bottomhouse and find something to come together. Come together, you know? It's too much that's going on. Another thing, all these police are taking money for license and these people not driving and causing all these accidents. I don't know what Guyana come to, you know. But listen, I remember that pastor that used to come out every morning and say, we're going to get there. I'm sorry that he's not here to come. He was such an encouragement. We're going to get there. And thank you for listening.
Hello, Brother Kadaki. I listen to the program and I hear a lot of people, tuning in and talking about this gun story in Agricola. And everybody was like is surprised and want to know what the country get into and all kind of thing. You know, I sure if we get a conversation of the amount of guns and all kind of thing, them same people will shock and with surprise and thing gonna fall in them same conversation now. What you're saying there is to say that we got to remember, we got to keep we head on and remember and understand that the PPP comeback is the PPP comeback. This is what's going on under the PPP. Why we surprised and that kind of thing. If you trace the same gun with the buy get, I sure it reached to some big buy. PPP, some big PPP buy banners them hand. They done the past. You are own it. So let we don't till we understand what's going on. Let we click back. When we see them thing, is a reoccurrence of what done happened before and the PPP. If you trace back, you could find a similar incident to the same one, wherever happened. You understand? The good thing about it now is that more of us going to see it. This is the difference, is that more of us going to see it because social media is up. They're going to be the thing. But the lawlessness got to there because the PPP in power. So the lawlessness got to there. Corruption got to there. Because that is the only way the PPP could strive. And if people there on the heights and be true to themselves, they would see that this PPP out of government. They would see this PPP out. Was disaster. Anytime we got to live for 5 more years under this crew regime, so it's gonna be enough thing going on. It don't start happening already. People getting killed like nothing getting investigated, and this is how we there. We got there on rights. When you see the time come for, we mark the X. We got there on rights. We got there on rights, people. We got there on rights. Blessed.
Call it life.
Yeah, I am a Rasta man. I'm a Guyanese. Yeah. I is a Rasta man. A Guyanese. I'm Guyanese by nature. Anywhere I go, I promote my country as a Guyanese. I don't want we keep going down Indian and African. We want we go down this road as Guyanese. Who racial? Let they be racial. But let us get this umbrella as Guyanese. For this little child that died a few months ago, she showed the world that we could be Guyanese and not Indian and black. As a Rastaman, the PPP never really stand up for me. We suffer by both political parties because of our liberty. They're using now the greatest weapon, which is marijuana, to subdue us, because that is the only thing they could hold up on a Rastaman for. What I need Guyanese to do is to start living and speaking Guyanese. Stop this Indian and black thing. Let us go to the voting poll as Guyanese for the reason why we should vote for A, B, or C. That is my contribution.
Thank you for your call. I love the call for unity. But my reality tells me that, unity is a far stretch away from us. Because if we can't unite around the murder, abduction and murder of young Adriano, what else are we going to unite around? Here is the evidence that a lot of us, when we talk about unity, are fooling ourselves that other people want the same unity. Listen to this video.
Whoever justice for Dede Hotel, fuck the so-called murder victim. Bucker. I said Bucker. Up the DJ. Whoever said justice for Dede Hotel, fuck the so-called murder victim. Bucker. I said Bucker.
In case you didn't hear it clearly, this young lady on the screen is saying justice to the hotel owner, Dede hotel owner, Double D hotel owner. F the murder victim. F the murder victim. Now you tell me how that promotes unity. You tell me how that promotes unity. It's all well and good to call for unity, one Guyana, Cooperative Republic of Guyana, one love, this, that, whatever you call it. But unless every citizen is prepared to stand up to defend the right of the other citizen, then I know unity here. Unity is a place in Mike, I think it's where Jagio come from. Right? Then I know unity here. If this, my God, if we cannot unite and stand up for justice to Adriana Young, that 11-year-old that was abducted and murdered, what else are we uniting for? What else can we possibly unite for? Here is an Indo-Guyanese saying to the world, justice to the hotel owner. F the victim. I guess the ERC going to tell me again I'm threatening national cohesion. What about people like these? What they threaten? Huh? What about people like these? What they threaten? The cover-up is already in place. The fuck-up has already happened. The owner of the Double A Hotel now is coming out and going on TikTok live to plead his cause and plead his innocence. Because the cover-up don't happen. The police don't say they closed the case. So since the case closed, I could talk now, right? I couldn't talk when the previous child was missing in the hotel. I would love to see a united Ghana. But I ain't got no united Ghana to get under the PPP. Because the PPP permits all of these wicked and nasty things to happen. And the PPP thrive on divide and rule. So I'm not fooled. Y'all ain't gonna con me. I'm a realist. I know what I'm dealing with. We beg, but we ain't stupid. It's 6 minutes to the 9 o'clock hour. I want to leave you with this one. Cape Town and Yami Bolo.
Rastafari. Burn down the walls of Babylon and them evil conception. King Celestia is the Almighty. This is more than just judgment. Gonna give you more. Said I know that the time will come when all evil man got to run. Why did you shoot your brother down?
Pick up yourself and go, and thank you for joining me this morning. Thank you for your time. Thank you, Lauren Jones, for joining me as a host. Peace out. Well, have a good one. I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
More with them motorcade. Them promote that and them not stop it. Politics and religion to get way and serve. Long time them have we all a rage and curve. And the heathen them not stop from red. Emperor Celestia on the press. Long time we go on them and they never want to listen. Yeah, this the man we get the blessing. Well, a long time we go on them and they never want to hear. This boy you disappear. Put down your weapon of destruction, youth man. Put down your weapon. Put it down. Weapon of destruction. Put it down. Yeah. Said I know that the time will come when all evil man got to run. Why did you shoot your brother down and leave him lying on the ground? Put down your weapon. Put it down. Weapon of destruction. Your man said, put down your weapon of destruction. Well, a long time we demand them and they never want to listen. Yeah, this the man that get the blessing. And a long time we demand them and they never want you. This big demand you disappear. Babylon them get free. Me whole ancestors Babylon enslaved. And the warrior them a try to escape. That's why judges what they get to you them this day. That's the man self-reliance that mean we self-made. So when we say we Babylon wouldn't hate, we judgment them come and them raise a blade. Judgment them food stamp and them person. Judgment them mark and judgment them curve. Who want the hunger? Who want the blood? Empire Celestia and the praise. Long time we demand them and they never want to listen. Yeah, this the man who get the blessing. And a long time we demand them, they never want you. This ball I see disappear. Said I know that the time will come when all Babylon man got to run now. Why did you shoot the youth man down and leave him lying on the ground? Put down your weapon of destruction. Oh, put down your weapon of destruction. Babylon them off his place. Judgment day pastor in on the church. The people them about down them eyes in on the church. Watch the pastor on the pulpit up them purse. You miss a doctor, you miss his nurse. Yes, more for action over question first. You miss a man who we are trying to big earth. Conspiracy to kill people for earth. God man, don't go on. Whole lot them feel your hurt. Southside, tell them
Baby man say come.
All right, so today we are here at Club Twilight up in Buxton, and we are here to talk about all that's going on up here. Trust me, if you are on the East Coast, you're in Buxton, you're in town, you're looking for a place to get away to, this is the place. The Cutters, mwah. Listen, I'll be having some just now again. We'll talk about that. And then, of course, the ambiance is beautiful, fully air conditioned. The decor is on point. The music's on point. Everything's on point. It's just me. I need some work. But everything else that belongs to this club here is on point. So if you want to find a nice little place where you can just drive out of town and have some drinks, have some food, you can call, you can order your stuff and just take it. You don't have to stay. Or if you want to stay here, that's what's up. And of course, they have special events for Valentine's. You can rent the hall. You can rent the hall, honey. You can rent the hall for weddings, for birthday parties, to have a bash. I hope he edits that out. But you know, whatever it is, this is definitely the place to be. So it's on Sideline Land. You definitely want to ensure that you check this place out. Put this on your to-do list. All right? On your to-do list. This is definitely the place to check out. You know, a really cool, chill spot here in Buxton. I like this. This is Buxton needed this. We needed this. I needed this. You definitely needed too. Thank you. All right, so you might be wondering where we are. Still in Buxton at Club Twilight. That's where we are. So Club Twilight also has like an Airbnb as well. So you could come, drink, drunk, and go to the back and lie down. Look at that. Look at that perfection. And the people come in the room and say, what? The bed sheet matching the blind, matching the carpet, matching the this, matching the that. We know what we think the Buxton don't play with we. So definitely if you want to come and you may be on a wedding or whatever and you just want to overnight and just have a good time because you're going to be drunk. We've got too much road accidents. So you definitely want to come, drink, have a good time. They have several rooms that you can rent. They have your toilet, they have your bath, they have your sink, they have your dining area. They have the This is nice. I like it. Anyways, to my friends and my family, if you're looking for me, I'll be overnighting.